Hello and welcome to the Un-American Football Show. I'm your host Nate, and joining me, I've got Alan. Right, mate?
Yeah, good. Tired after Monday Night Football, but worth staying up for. So yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah. I didn't stay up for it, even though I was awake. But yeah, no. Well, as you said before we started recording, it doesn't sound like it was much of a game to actually watch if you were a neutral.
No, it was very one-sided. Um, I think I described it to you as the most relaxing Cowboys game I've witnessed, probably ever, or maybe in a very long time. Um, just, just easy. It was just.
It wasn't one for
It,
the adrenaline.
it was not. No, from the off, it wasn't. I quite happily would have watched it if it wasn't like 1 a.m. in the morning. I'd quite happily watch it in a hammock with like a cocktail. Go, oh, this is an enjoyable little game. Like a Sunday, nice Sunday game, really. But yeah, we'll talk about it again in a minute.
Uh, in passing, yeah. Um, we've got no Ross this week, so obviously we'll be filling in for him where we can. So we're just going to go straight in and have a look at last week's predictions. So Thursday night football, Panthers at Texans. We were all obviously Panthers. We all predicted a big winning margin, and we were all right. Although we didn't all quite get the winning margin spot on.
No, I think you're alluding to yourself. You're like 1 point short or something like that.
1 point short. Yeah, I predict.
Yeah.
I didn't quite attain that extra point there, frustratingly. But never mind. And next up, we had the Chargers at the Chiefs. We all went for the Chiefs, and we were all embarrassed. Not as much as the Chiefs, though.
Yeah, well, I don't think necessarily the Chiefs were embarrassed. They were just a bit outplayed, weren't they, on the day?
They were massively outplayed in reality. They didn't at any point look like they were going to do the usual kind of Chiefs thing and go and win that game, did they?
Then there's a bit stop-starty this year so far.
1-2.
Yeah,
It's first,
worst team in the division.
it's the first time
We
they've
all
lost.
expected.
First time they've lost 2 games since mid 2019 in a row.
We all called it, obviously. Everyone expected the Chiefs. I don't know, maybe this is a Super Bowl hangover. Who knows? I've mentioned before, I think their receiving group's not as good. Even with losing someone like Sammy Watkins, he can pop up in big spots. They haven't added anyone to replace him. They've just sort of relied on the players they already had. So the offense isn't quite ticking over in the ways it has in years past. So it'd be interesting to see if they can address it.
Did you just say Sammy Watkins?
Yeah.
He plays for the Ravens.
Yeah, in past years.
Oh, in
Sammy
past
Watkins,
years, sorry. I was like,
yeah.
he's not there anymore. What are you talking about?
No, and
yeah.
I mean, Sammy
Well,
Watkins.
they might have replaced him now.
Yeah, no, they haven't. But yeah, you're alluding to Josh Gordon.
I am.
Signing.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. He's got some talent, but
Undoubtedly a talented receiver, but can't help himself fall foul of the drug policies, can he? Which is a shame.
no.
Yeah. Moving on, we've got the Buccaneers at the Rams. Alan, we went for the Bucs, and Ross went for the Rams, and the Rams ended up winning comfortably.
Yeah. The Rams. I mean, I like the Rams coming into the season. I wasn't particularly impressed with what I'd seen up to this week, but this is a real statement win.
Yeah.
For the Rams. I mean, they were at home, but I still expected it to be closer and expected the Bucs to get the win. So, I'm not worried about the Buccaneers as a team going forward. They'll sort of lick their wounds, and I still think they'll be a good competitive team going forward.
All good teams have bad days,
people
don't
probably
they?
more. Yeah, I think the Rams will be probably more feared as a result. That's the only sort of real takeaway.
Yeah. We said last week that they looked kind of efficient but relatively ordinary last week against the Colts. But they really stepped out this week and had a much better day of it on offense. Do you want to just drop in Ross's one note from these games now? Just because the way I hear you saying that in my head is much better than the way I will say it.
I'm not sure I've ever said something like this, but Matty Stafford, baby!
That's exactly what I heard in my head. The way you said
Baby's
baby.
Baby's not really in my vocab.
I have definitely
but,
heard you say it
there's a
exactly
time
like
and
that
place.
before. 100%.
I'm not sure.
Moving on, we had the Packers at the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. I went for the Packers, and I was the only one who got that one right. You guys said the 49ers would win. I've seen precisely 0 seconds of play from that game. I looked at the score. I read a little bit of the report, and I was like, I don't need to watch it.
It was fine.
That is a glowing reference.
The 49ers,
the
49ers, we did have concerns last week, Ross and I, about the running back room and the fact that Carl Juszczyk's got not all the rushing, but a lot of rushing, and he's a fullback, says that there's not a lot of faith in Trey Sermon. Okay, flopped in the end zone, but it's like 1 yard out. I think a lot of people probably could have done that. But he didn't. He just ran forward. It wasn't that hard. So yeah, they were sort of stifled by that. Despite that, it still took a final drive from Aaron Rodgers to set up a 50-odd yard field goal to get the win. So, it was another game with a really dramatic ending this week. It was a little pedestrian at times, but it definitely came to life, especially as the game went on. It was interesting to see some players sort of make a bit more of a resurgence. George Kittle sort of was a big focal point for them, and even Brando Ayuk caught passes this week. So it'll be interesting to see
from my bench
how that
caught
shapes
passes
them
from
forward.
my bench this week.
Yeah, and mine. But yeah, it was a fine game. Yeah.
And then finally, we've got the Eagles in Dallas on Monday Night Football. We all went for the Cowboys by various margins. And we were right.
Well, we all underplayed them, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, myself
game.
less so than the rest, but even still, another 1 point at 1 point off of getting 3 points. So actually, if I'd have given the Panthers an extra point and the Cowboys an extra point, or took them off of their opposition, I'd be 4 points better off right now.
Yeah, you would. And it wasn't as close as even that, to be honest. Yeah. There was a dodgy call from the officials for a quarterback sneak from Dak, which looked over the line to me on multiple occasions. And the Eagles scored a garbage time touchdown. So it actually flattered probably the Eagles a little bit. The first half, the Eagles had 4 punts and an interception. And that was their offense.
Yeah, there was another game this week. The Jets, where they their first 7 possessions, 6 of them were punts and 1 was an interception.
They are.
It's astounding how poor
New York Jets team
they are, isn't it? And we'll settle in with our top fantasy point scorer from the 5 games. I went with Tyreek Hill. Alan went with CMC, and Ross went with CD Lamb. All players scored under 10 points. I think Mike Williams was the top scorer from the games, possibly until last night. I haven't checked that what points Dak put up.
No one really scored. Not less than 20.
Well, Mike Williams was the top scorer in PPR formats across the games that we've covered. We got nowhere near it. I obviously, with CD Lamb playing last night, I was looking at it thinking, well, Tyreek Hill's got 8 points. So I'm not going to come anywhere near it. And I was within 1 point of getting the extra point here, which is poor.
I needed CD Lamb to have a big game.
Yeah, he didn't. Did he?
I actually lost in every single league.
Oh, really?
That I played this week.
I split. I'm
every single one
this week. So
yeah. But I don't think if you add up all the scores of CMC, Tyreek Hill, and CD Lamb, I think you'll find we probably didn't match that of Mike Williams. I would be
surprised because CMC in Sleeper
6.
got 6, but I've seen on some other apps he got 3. Yeah, on ESPN he got 3, I think. I've definitely seen him with less points somewhere else, maybe 4.
Maybe
Yeah.
strange league scoring. Maybe
Possibly.
maybe standard.
So it's another bad week for me. I come in at the bottom with 3 points again. Alan 5 points, and Ross has 6 points. So my preparation for this has been great, and I don't have the table up. So right now I have 12 points over 3 weeks. Alan has 19 points over 3 weeks, and Ross has extended his lead at the top of the table to 25 points. Oh, it's a long way back for me, boys.
Well, you just need to get some of these shouts right. Like you've been throwing some darts the last week in particular. The dart throw on the Lions, that was bold. Although I do think the Lions are going to win at some point fairly soon because they are pretty determined. Unlike some teams,
it's the margins that's really hurting me. It's not actually the darts. I'm getting the same amount of games right as you guys. It's the margins where I'm not getting points and you guys are. So I need to stop predicting 3 score games.
But if you predict that tasty, and you get it, it's such a money shot, isn't it?
I'd have won this week if I'd have not done that, and I would be a lot closer. I'd only be 2 points behind you now rather than 6. So, oh well, it is what it is. And we move on.
Long season.
I'm doing a similar kind of predictions league for the Premier League, and I keep there's a couple of guys that haven't put in their predictions for the season at all. Like 1 week they've missed their predictions, they missed the cutoff, and I'm like, dudes, don't worry about it. By the end of the season, that amount of points you're going to be down. If you have a better week every single week, you'll catch up in 4 or 5 weeks, no problem. Like, just got to keep grinding. Whereas, over 17 weeks, 18 weeks, it's going to be harder, especially if I keep throwing these darts. Anyway, let's see if I'm going to throw some darts with our week 4 predictions. So we'll start off with, as ever, with the Thursday night football. The Jaguars are visiting Cincinnati Friday midnight here in the UK. After they absolutely trashed the Steelers, which was possibly my favourite game of the week. I've gone for them doing the same to the Jaguars. If they can trash the Steelers, God knows what they can do to the Jaguars. I've gone for 16 points to 31 win for the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm also going for the Bengals. The Jaguars, they were spirited this week against the Cardinals. They put up more points than probably people expected, but also they did have the tied longest touchdown ever with a 109-yard missed field goal return. So you take those 7 points away and it doesn't look quite as impressive. I think the Bengals, again, I think this is going to be one of those Thursday night primetime games. Team's going to get up early and they're going to go to the run, and I think that they've been running the ball well. I think Joe Burrow's had a solid season. Jamar Chase has been, he seems to have quashed a lot of the fears that people had pre-season. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. 28.
He's looked great, hasn't he? Jamar Chase and Burrow have been linking up really well.
But they played together before.
It's almost. And then Ross has come in with a similarly dominant performance for the Bengals. He's gone for the Bengals 9 points to 24. He said Trevor Lawrence is not a good rookie quarterback, and the coaching staff is a college staff. Both things can be true. Joe Burrow shows Lawrence just how far he still has to go in his development to make it in this league. Fair. Now,
Definitely.
At the time of recording, Sky have not announced their 2 Sunday games, the early and I guess late middle kickoff. So I've picked them this week, and I picked 2 of the matchups that I think look interesting. So the first one we've gone for is the Browns at the Vikings. I've really struggled with this one, and I think I might be swinging the opposite way to what I've initially put.
You're calling an Omaha.
I might be. Oh, I don't know. I'd say I had the Browns to win 27 points to 24. The Vikings looked really good. The Browns haven't looked quite as good as I think possibly some of us expected. Well, they're still more or less getting the results. They're just not maybe playing to the level that we may have expected. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to stick with the Browns. I think the Browns are a better team than the Seahawks. And I think it will continue. But the Vikings have been Vikings are one of the teams that surprised me this year. Although they were going to do absolutely piss all, and they've been pretty decent. So 27 points to 24, I think will be a closer game than I would have called it at the beginning of the season. I think the Browns will still win.
I'm very much in the same camp as you. I've sort of tossed and turned on this one. I think for me, the Vikings, Kirk Cousins is having a great year. He's really enjoying those weapons he's got in Justin Jefferson. A lot of people were concerned about whether Adam Thielen was going to have a good season, but he's still rolling, he's still dealing, and he's getting some help with KJ Osborne, who had like one catch last season. He's already had some great weeks. The Browns, the concern is they're without Jarvis Landry, and OBJ's back, which, that's a lift, but he's not what he once was. I think it's an awful lot of reliance on Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in the backfield. Even as I'm talking, I don't know which way I'm going. I'm going to go with the Vikings. I just think that they've both the defenses haven't been great, but I think the Vikings have shown more on offense, even without Dalvin Cook this past week and Alexander Mattison stepping in. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go with your score. I'm just going to flip it the other way and go 27-24 to the Vikings.
Fair enough. And then Ross has said the Vikings 2. Again, 3-point game, 20 points to 23. He says, having watched the Vikings dismantle the Seahawks after some first quarter adjustments, and he was thoroughly impressed. The Vikings are a bad fumble call and a missed 37-yard field goal from being 3-0. He thinks they are a good team, and they take this one in their building, which is a difficult place for any travelling team to go and play. Which I can't disagree with any of that, other than the final result. I think the Browns go in. I think the Browns, for their season to build and roll on, I think they kind of have to go and win this one. It's the type of game that you got to win.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think their division has actually not looked as good as people thought it was going to be.
Well, they're 2-1 at the moment, Browns, aren't they? I think if they're going to, I think you don't want to. If you've got true aspirations for doing something at the end of the season, I think a 2-2 start is disappointing. I think for momentum, for the sake of momentum, they need to go in and win this game.
Okay.
And then I picked for the late window game. I picked the Steelers and the Packers, simply because I just want to come in and predict the Steelers losing a game. That's it. That was literally the only reason. None of the other late window games particularly jumped out at me as being overly fun. Although I have just noticed that obviously I missed the Cardinals at the Rams, which is going to be a cracking game. But we're sticking with the Steelers and the Packers because Ross isn't here and I can't change it on the fly. So I've gone for the Packers to win 17 points to 28. Neither team's been great this year. The Steelers are worse. And Big Ben sucks.
Yeah, Big Ben is under repair, like the real Big Ben, I think. He's declining rapidly.
He'll take longer.
And I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard that it's doing the rounds on social media where Big Ben rolled out as if Big Ben rolls out. And he sort of trips over his own
That's
feet.
fantastic. Yeah, as he's throwing the ball,
it's like Bambi on ice.
He goes through the ball.
Baby elephant.
He's like Timber, but in slow motion. It's so embarrassing.
I need to see it.
It's so embarrassing.
I need to see it. We've all done it. We've just not done it
on a national
worldwide
stage.
TV. Yeah. And the fact that they're just playing really badly at the moment, lost TJ Watt, got Deontay Johnson already out. Don't know if he's back for this game. Smith-Schuster went out injured in the last game. Also, Claypool, he seems to fall hard whenever he jumps up for the ball. So I'm not sure how much offense they're going to have in this game. I've gone for the Packers. I'm a bit worried about the spread I've given it, but I'm going for 17-28. That's 3 scores, which feels big. But I
17-33, mate.
Well, yeah. Oh, no, sorry. I've gone 17-33. Yeah, this feels even bigger. It's getting bigger by the second. That still falls within the 3-score rule that we're doing. But so I'm not all that impressed by the Packers, but I'm really, really unimpressed by the Steelers.
Yeah,
so
that's
far,
it.
So.
That's exactly it. It's hard to take the Steelers against anyone right now. I mean, not anyone, right? But almost.
I think anyone could give them a challenge. Maybe not the Jets.
They are
the
Jets and the Jags wouldn't give them a challenge, would they? And I mean, I'm not looking forward to the Colts having to play them again towards the end of the season. The Colts, I think the Colts will lose that game.
I think the Jags one could be close. In this current form, without TJ Watt, without John, they haven't got any receivers. They've got James Washington's potentially going into the game as their wide receiver 1.
Well, the Jags just traded away their best cornerback.
They did, yeah. But James Washington's...
No, you are right. Yeah,
he's a guy.
No, he ain't. Anyway, we're going to just drop in just a guy. We're going to drop in the Packers. The Ross's result, and obviously Packers. He's got 24 points to 34, so a little bit closer than me and a lot closer than Alan. Imagine saying 10 points is a lot closer than someone else's prediction. Anyway, the Steelers have shocked us. The Steelers shocked us week 1. Have been the Steelers we thought we'd say ever since the Packers win. Yeah. Sunday night football. It was always going to be on telly. We were always going to have to field this one. It's the Buccaneers visiting Brady's old stomping ground in New England. I just want to say in Boston. Monday night football. Sunday night football on Monday morning for us at 1:20 a.m. And I've gone for Tom Brady to win this game. 33 points to 15. The Bucs are good. The Pats are shit. Need I say more?
I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that analysis. I'd also probably say this is not a game that particularly excites me for a primetime game. I get why it is primetime, but this is not... I look at the slate of games, and this is one that's pretty low down. This is like low middle order for me, because I think there's only one winner. The Buccaneers are probably going to want to make a bit of a statement after last week.
And Tom's going to want to really, really go and put the hurt in. And
yeah, but I imagine Bill's the same. And the Pats' defense isn't dreadful, but their offense isn't quite working. Mac Jones is just not stretching the field. He's safe.
Kendrick Bourne did bits at least on one play.
Yeah, I know. The fact we're talking about Kendrick
Bourne, no,
it
does, doesn't it?
A lot about.
I genuinely forgot he existed.
Jacoby Myers also had a good game, to be fair, but they were bright spots. The running game against the Saints didn't exist. Matt Jones isn't doing a lot. The Patriots' defense probably slightly above average, but the Bucs' defense, especially their front seven, is way above average, and their offense is way above average. So it's clear there's only one winner. I'm going for a 3-score win. I'm going 27-10, and that's probably just because I'm laying a little bit of respect on the defenses, to be honest.
So Ross has gone for a 40 points to 17 win for TB12.
40? A 40 burger?
40. A 40 burger. And I've got to read it out because it's a great sentence. Ross says, TB12 drops a 40 burger on Bill Belichick's sour, miserable face, and that's obvious. Mac Jones is sacked
I
7
don't think he's
times.
sacked 7 times.
No. 5, push, probably
I
3
was
or
say,
maybe 4.
I'm more in the 3-4 range there, but I didn't actually know that he was going to say
But
40 burger.
that is very much you though.
Yeah, I didn't know he was going to say 40 burger. That's actually a massive coincidence. And also, I always thought it was a 50 burger, so I'm not sure 40 burger's a thing, but we'll roll with it.
We'll just roll
40's
with it,
big.
yeah.
40 is big, to be fair.
40's huge, yeah. We're going to move on to Monday Night Football, Tuesday 1 a.m. here. Raiders at Chargers. I had the Raiders edging it by a point, but you two have said the Chargers, and I am changing my answer to the Chargers because I've already gone with one outlying pick this week, and I can't afford 2 to go south for me again. So I'm now playing this game tactically, as opposed to just going with my mind, with my gut. I think it will be close. I think it will be a 1-score game. I'm really hoping it's going to be a really, really good game of football. The Raiders have been playing well. The Chargers obviously been playing well. So that's where we are. I'm saying 31 points to 30 in favour of the Chargers. I just think in this game, neither team wins. Football wins.
Yeah, I think this has potential to be a really good game. I agree. I'm still going with the Chargers, though. I've got them winning 17-27. I think the Raiders didn't look that great against the Dolphins, and overtime loss. And the Dolphins aren't all that. They're facing Jacoby Brissett and co. And that, everyone, as you say before, any team can have an off day, but that sets off some alarm bells for me. The Raiders maybe aren't all that great, and I know they've had some good results, undefeated, but I think the Chargers, they would have thrashed the Cowboys the other week if they sorted out the penalties on touchdown plays.
Yeah.
I'm happy, but if they just came off a win against the Chiefs, they're rolling as high surely as any them and the Rams. Like if you're doing power rankings, they've got to be right up there. And I think the Raiders, despite the undefeated record, are not really as good as the record shows, in my opinion. So,
yeah, I think you've always got to remember that it's John Gruden.
Yeah, and
their roster ain't great, is it? They've got a few really good players. They just
the Chargers have shut down sort of wide receiver ones on teams so far this season. If you look back in their past games. And so they are doing bits on defense as well. The biggest weapons, Darren Waller. Do they have anyone that can match up to him size-wise? Probably not. But you can't just throw the ball to Darren Waller every single play. Although
John Gruden,
Carr and Gruden seem to try to do that most weeks.
Well, he's not had Waller, like numbers wise, hasn't had a massive week 2 or 3. Actually, he might have had more this week, but last week he was definitely under 10 receptions.
Yeah, but 10 receptions is a lot. But if you double cover a man because you know he's the one, then he's going to have a limited output. I think the Chargers are playing a good brand of football at the moment. Keenan Allen might not even be the number 1 receiver on this team. Mike Williams is resurgent.
That's a really good week.
And to be honest, I know we're not talking about this yet, but he could be a choice for Fantasy Player of the Week again this coming week. But let's hear what Ross had to say.
Yeah, so Ross has gone for the Chargers as well, 27 points to 23. So again, similarly close to my selection, a little bit closer than yours. He's really looking forward to this game. ESPN lucked into a good one here with the Raiders and Chargers starting the season well. Trust Joey Bosa and Derwin James. I was about to say that in a Scottish accent. I'm not going to. Just a tiny wee bit more to get a stop late when it's needed. But he's very impressed with both teams so far.
And that's hard for him to say. He absolutely despises John Gruden.
He does. Which is another reason why I think I was really happy that we have to deal with the Raiders again this week. So moving on to the top fantasy players, point scorer from 5 games. I've gone for Tom Brady. I just fancy them to run up the score a little bit on the Pats. Yours is fucking mental.
Well, I don't imagine anyone expected me to pick Aaron Jones the other week, and he scored 4 touchdowns. So I'm using the same theory as last week.
We were surprised you picked him, but also we were like, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, this guy's had a good start to the season. I've gone with Joe Mixon from the Cincy Bengals. In fantasy, he's usually the player that will let you down. He's usually injured by now, but he's not, and he's playing well. And they're playing a Jaguars team that is pretty dreadful on both sides of the ball.
For the second week in the row, I think you need to expect to lose your selection in the first quarter.
It's strategic, you see. Everyone that we picked last week, I have on a fantasy team.
So you picked someone you haven't got.
And they were crap. Thankfully, I don't have any stocks of Tom Brady, Joe Mixon, or Devontae Adams. So I'm thinking it might come up roses.
The curse of Allen is true.
I've cursed quite a few people.
You have.
Unintentionally.
Probably some intentionally as well.
Yeah. My voodoo room in my new house is great. And sorry, I let slip who Ross's pick was there.
Well, yeah, no, it's fine. Devontae Adams, he put up big numbers this week. He might do it again next week. MVS had a great week as well, actually.
He did. Oh, yeah, he had a great catch.
He has quiet. He seems to have quiet stints, and then will kill it for a game or two. So I might drop him in this week. I've got him on the bench in 2 leagues. I might have to chuck him in. Anyway, that's it. That's all of our picks. Join us again next week to see how we did and to laugh at our failure. If you've enjoyed us talking about football today, please give our show a like. Please subscribe. You can check out our other weekly effort on Anchor, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Google Podcasts, and everywhere else you can get decent podcasts, which is everywhere. That's it. Thanks from us, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye. I need to remember to look at the camera. Just don't look at the camera. See ya.